guys, I'm Ivan, located here in the city of Sydney, and just walking around, and I happened to notice this shop. This looks rather interesting. What is this? The fortune teller Paris Debono. Hello? Hi, do you do fortune teller readings?
I certainly do. Welcome to the fortune teller shop. Hi everyone, this is Paris Debono of the fortune teller shop. And I have magnificent Ivan, my assistant, here helping me today.
Thank you. And thank you very much for tuning in. I came up with a brilliant name for our duo.
Oh yes.
We're the dynamic duo of divination.
Wow, I like it.
Kind of like Batman and Robin. You're Batman, I'm Robin.
I always wanted to be Batman when I was a kid, so that's really good.
What about Sherlock Holmes and Watson?
Mm-hmm, that's also good.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think I like Batman because of the cape. You know.
Are you fighting the forces of evil, though?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, we're here today to talk about divination. So thank you very much for having us. And we're with the world famous Paris Debono, coming to you from Sydney, Australia. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. So I wanted to talk about, of course, Lenormand, because most of the viewers are Lenormand card fan. And I also wanted to showcase some of the books that I've written about fortune telling.
Yes, you're quite a prolific author now. You're the author of 5 books, all on divination.
I have 5 books, that's correct.
So this is Paris's book week at the moment, or book hour.
So I have Find Your Desire.
Okay.
Now, this book was written, I designed the cards and I wrote the book, but this book was written mainly because of female clients.
Okay.
It was for women who came looking for their love.
Big topic.
Big topic. And sometimes tarot was a little bit harsh. You know, they might get the 10 of swords, 3 of swords, hermit.
Or the
right?
tower
or
card.
the tower.
How are you going to explain the tower card?
So I used to feel like sometimes the tarot was sledgehammering my clients, right? And I talk about that in the book, actually.
Okay.
And so sometimes they would get terrible cards, and the client would be despondent and depressed. And I wanted to create a deck of cards that was less scary. Yeah. And also that give advice. So I came up with this system of cards. Now the Find Your Desire, I originally it was called Find a Man.
Okay.
Because it was for straight women who were looking for a man.
Oh, right.
But then when I wrote the book, I thought I need to make it broader, Find Your Desire. So whatever your desire is.
Your heart's desire.
Your heart's desire. Now this system also works for love mainly, but you could also ask about career questions, like find your career. Could be anything. Could be if you wanted to travel, if you wanted to study, you could answer any question with it. But originally it was for love and relationships. Yeah. And this book has a nifty little deck of cards in the back page where people can cut them out and make a deck for themselves.
I love the colours of those cards. Yeah. They're really cute and quite modern, aren't they?
Yeah, I made it very pop art style.
Yeah,
you know?
It sort of looks like that Andy Warhol sort of look to it.
Yeah, and I also wanted, like I said, I didn't want something scary. Tarot sometimes is a little bit intense. So it depends on the client, of course. Like sometimes you need intense to get the message through. But sometimes people just need a little bit of a push, in the right direction. Yeah. So that's the Find Your Desire
How
deck.
does it actually work? Like, how does this method of divination actually work?
This is different to Lenormand, and it's different from tarot. It was channeled. One day I was sitting in my shop when I had my shop in Erskineville, and I was trying to figure out a way to do readings for clients that was kind of more fun. Okay. And all of a sudden I just got the words, because the cards have words on them. I got the words channeled and I wrote them down on a piece of paper.
Okay. You were like Edgar Casey of...
I was like Edgar Casey.
Type of
it
cards.
just came in, and then I wrote them down on a piece of paper, and then I cut them up in little paper squares.
Okay.
And I started to play with the paper squares, and I thought there's a system in this, because at first I didn't really know what it was. And then after I started to practice, I started to realize it was a system, and then I went and designed the cards.
Yeah.
But originally it was just paper, pen on paper that I got them. And then I've used them ever since. So it's a very good system, okay?
It seems to be that they're based on playing cards, are they?
Oh, yeah. There's
suits.
There's suits. There's the clubs, there's the diamonds, the spades, and the hearts.
Oh, right.
And there's also apples in this one.
Okay.
That's another suit. So there's 5 suits, yeah.
And there's 12 cards, is there?
12
it's quite a
cards.
small sort of a system, isn't it?
Yeah, this system is only 12 cards, and you read it like a grand tableau. But it's a 12-card tableau. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's very good for beginners as well. People can usually learn this system in about an hour.
Oh, right. It's quite a nifty little deck, but I found it's very specific.
Yeah, it
is. It's not really, sort of going to give you too much life advice apart from exactly what you're asking for.
Yeah, it's very direct. It's just to the point, this one. Yeah. It's very good for giving instruction to a client.
Okay.
Like if they need to go out more, if they need to let go of their past, or they need to know that there's someone interfering in their love life. It kind of pinpoints things very clearly. Yeah. Okay. So that's Find Your Desire.
Find Your Desire by Paris Debono.
The second one I wrote is called Trinity. Now, Trinity cards is a 24-card deck. This one I created because I was getting know-it-all tarot.
I'm one of those.
Are you one of those? Yes.
Yeah.
So what was happening was, when I just did tarot many years ago, I would get clients that knew tarot, and they would try to tell me what they thought I should be telling them, that my cards were telling them, right?
Everyone knows what the devil means, right? The devil card.
Yeah. So I call those people the backseat readers, right? So it's like a backseat driver, where they would be looking at your cards, but then telling you what they think you should be telling them. So I thought, I came up with a different style of cards, which is the Trinity deck.
Okay.
So what I used to do with these is when I would get a backseat tarot reader, right, I would put the tarot cards away and bring out this deck. So, and then they wouldn't be able to read them.
Oh, right.
Now, this is going back 30 years.
Oh, right.
This is before I really knew about Lenormand, before I knew about Oracle cards. This is way back, right in the beginnings. Because back then, you kind of had to create your own. There wasn't such a plethora of choices back then. You had tarot, and then you might have had angel cards, and that was kind of it.
Oh, right.
So I created these in a time when there wasn't so many Oracle cards on the market,
So you're quite an innovator in that way. You're sort of a divination, sort of innovation person, aren't you?
Yeah, I like to create and innovate, and I studied art at university, so I have an art background, so that's why I do the artworks as well. Okay.
And what just before you go to the next one, what is this system good for? Because I did notice in this that you can connect with spirits.
This one you can connect with spirits that have passed over, like people's loved ones.
Right.
This one is very good for career questions, love questions, everything that tarot can answer. This one does that as well.
Okay.
It's pretty much a deck that is an all-rounder. It's like tarot, yeah.
Okay.
But this system, I also developed it for spiritual, connecting with spirit.
Okay.
In the back part of the book, it's all about how to connect with loved ones that have passed over for the clients.
And I see you have something about the chakras and alignment of the cards with the chakras, which is quite interesting.
Yeah. The cards, you can do chakra readings, especially with the beans, which I'll get to in a minute. The beans ones, I think, are the best ones for doing chakra readings.
Oh, right, okay.
We'll get to the beans in a minute. But then I wrote Lenono. Okay, so Lenono is a 20 card system and it's based on Lenormand. Okay. Now, what I did with Lenormand is I basically cut down the 36 cards to 20.
Right.
And there's a whole system in how to read the Lenono cards.
Okay.
It's very similar to Lenormand, but it is kind of slightly different. It's a branch off Lenormand. Yeah. So it is its own system, although it uses a lot of symbols of the Lenormand.
And you designed this yourself as well. What was the reason that you did this?
I designed this one because when I first started teaching Lenormand to students, I found it, a lot of students found it very difficult to learn the whole 36 cards and the combinations. So I thought there's got to be an easier way. So what I did was I condensed a few of the cards in one. So for example, the birds and the letter, both of those Lenormand cards represent communication, so I made it birds and letter in one.
I see.
Okay. I also changed the bear card to the lion. Okay. And that one, the lion represents masculine power, domination, leadership, you know, that kind of thing. But it's from a male's energy. So it could be a male boss, or it could be a person in government or authority. Okay. It could be like the king, you know, because the lion is the king of the jungle, right? So it's usually someone who is in charge, and it's also a secondary male card. So you've got the man card like you have in Lenormand, and then you've also got a lion, which is another man. So in Lenormand, the snake card is another woman, but in Lenono, the lion is another man, and the snake is also another woman. So I've kept a lot of the similarities of Lenormand, but this system the magic of this system is in its spread. You do a grand tableau, but it's very different to the Lenormand grand tableau. It's a totally different way of reading it. Okay. But the other thing is, if I have students who read both Lenormand and Lenono, and they say that both systems help each other. Okay. So they don't conflict with each other, they actually assist each other. Yeah.
I find the Lenono to be good. You know, I've used it a lot. The Lenormand seems to be, it's a big feast.
Yeah.
You know, it's a massive feast. You know, I like to put my cards out, and I don't have much space, so
yeah, 20 cards is cute. It's like a cute little grand tableau. It's still a grand tableau, but it's a 20 card version. Now, are we swearing at these you know, diehard Lenormand people at the moment by talking about this? I have to say that when I first created Lenono, I was I was demonized for it because people thought I was messing with Lenormand, which I wasn't.
Yes.
But there's a whole story in the book about what happened when I first created Lenono, that I got banned from a lot of the different groups.
Facebook groups, right? But you've got a very large Facebook group yourself. I think you've got about 120,000 followers on your. That's tarot. That's tarot. Sorry, yeah.
So my tarot group on Facebook is a big tarot group, but I also have the biggest Lenormand group now on Facebook. I don't know how many thousands are in there, but I think it's the biggest one now. But I created my Lenormand group because I got kicked out of the other Lenormand groups for being a rebel. See, I was a rebel. I went and messed with, you know, the holy grail of Lenormand, and I created this.
Don't panic, guys, because we're going to get back into traditional Lenormand.
I love Lenormand.
Very soon.
I still love Lenormand, but I did have to create a branch off it. Now, the other one I have is beans, reading the beans. Okay.
So this is book 4.
This is book 4, and it's Favomancy. It's how to read beans. Okay, so this is an old system of reading. You don't need cards, you just need some beans. So some kitchen, you go into your pantry and grab some beans that you cook, and away you go, you've got a system of divination. Now this system is really beautiful because, again, some people are scared of cards. Some people are, especially if they're religious, they might have religious issues about, you know, using cards, especially tarot, whereas beans are very they're not images. You know, I have a friend of mine who's Muslim, for example, and she feels uncomfortable with tarot cards.
Okay.
But when I do beans for her, she loves it because it's not images, it's not different entities or something. It's actually just symbols. So she absolutely loves it, and she's actually she started reading beans for her Muslim girlfriends now.
All right.
Yeah. So that was kind of funny because when I first showed her my books, I think I showed her Lenormand. She liked it, but she just didn't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Well, and then I showed her the beans, and she was like, "What is that?"
Yeah. Well, didn't you tell me before this is originating in coffee reading, or is it tea reading?
That's Lenormand. Lenormand originated from coffee, but beans originated. Well, it's sort of like it comes from different parts of the world. There are bean readers in sort of like places like Bosnia, Serbia, Russia.
All right.
So it's kind of like Eastern European. Serbia, that kind of it sort of comes from there. But there's also other, like I have known people who read it in Portugal as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my teacher, what happened with this was one day I was in my shop, and a woman walked into my shop. And she, she started, we had a conversation, and she, wanted to know what I do and all that. And after I told her I read tarot and all the astrology and things, she said that she reads beans. And I didn't know what that was.
Okay.
I never heard of that before. And she was an old lady. And she said to me that she wanted to teach me how to do it because she was going to pass away soon. She was ill. And she said she wanted to pass on the knowledge before she dies.
Well, that's a good story.
Yeah, I was just having a morning coffee, and then this woman walked in and said, "I'm going to pass on my heritage to you." And I was like, okay. So I sat down, and I write about it in the book. I write the whole story about how it all happened.
Yeah.
And she basically sat down with me, and I got a pen and a paper, and I was writing down all her notes, and she was showing me how to do it. And then she asked me to pass it on to my students because she said that she had 2 children of her own who were like in their 30s, but she said they weren't interested in doing it, so she wanted to pass it on before she died.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, I don't even know her name.
All right.
Because when she came to the shop, she told me her name, but I forgot. Right, and I was so busy writing notes, and I didn't even ask her where she was from, what country.
Yeah.
I know she was ethnic.
Yeah.
Because she had an accent, but I didn't ask her where.
The mystery. It's like that the guy that invented Bitcoin, isn't it? A little bit.
Yeah, it's like
that.
a mystery. Yeah, it was a mystery.
Sashimoto, whatever his name is.
Yeah. And this was before mobile phones as well, so I didn't even have her number. So she came to my shop, gave me all this information.
Yes.
And then she said, "Okay, you've got it now." And then she said, "Thank you, bye." And she walked out. I was like,
never heard from her.
Never heard from her.
Yeah. Okay.
I was hoping she would drop by again, but she never did.
All right.
And
she might have been a few beans short of a bushel.
well, that's what I thought when she first came in. When she started telling me she reads beans, I was like, okay, what's going on with you?
So I mean, if I was doing this with jelly beans, my son would definitely eat a couple, and then I'd be going, hang on, there's
some missing.
There's a certain specific number, isn't there, of beans that we need to
you start with 41 beans.
41. That's an interesting number. It's
just a traditional number. She said always use 41. I asked her why. She said that's just tradition.
Okay.
And I said, okay, if that's what you... So I just listened to my teacher, basically. So she came in and she gave me some beans as well. When she left me some beans.
Okay.
And I had a notebook full of her notes that I wrote down as she was talking.
Right.
And then she just disappeared. And I was like, what was that all about? And I remember feeling a little bit like, was that a dream? Was that an angel? What was that? You know?
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, then the book was written. So the funny thing is, I actually got confirmation that a weird thing happened, right? I don't know if I told you this story. So this woman, this old woman, she when I first met her, she wore this she wore like ribbons in her hair, not ribbons, like I don't know, sort of like material in her hair and different colors.
Okay.
And the weird thing was, when I said to her, you know, she told me she reads the beans. She said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Okay.
And I write the story in the book, right?
Okay.
The weird thing happened is, so fast forward 10 years, I finally write the book, right?
Right.
I had a woman one time walk down the stairs, walk into my shop here, and she had like material in her hair, but she was a young lady.
Okay.
And she said to me, "Do you do readings?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "Oh, when the student is ready, the teacher appears." And I was like,
Okay.
"What the hell?"
Yeah.
I said, "Why did you say that?" She said, "I don't know. I just had the urge to say that to you." And I said, "Okay," because I didn't know her, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And it was a bit like I just published the book,
Yeah.
literally like the day before, and
Yeah.
this woman came in with the same sort of hairstyle as this old lady from years before, and then she said that same quote. It was so bizarre.
That's strange. But did she actually teach you anything, this young
No,
lady?
and then she just got a reading.
Oh, right.
And then I said to her, "Why did you say when the student's ready, the teacher appears?" She said, "I have no idea why I said that."
Okay.
It really freaked me out. I was
yeah,
like, and then I thought, okay, that's my teacher confirming that she's happy with the book.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, because I literally had the book finished and I was like looking at it, and then this random woman comes in and said that, and she had the same hairstyle. It was just very, very strange.
Yeah, that's...
So anyway, I took that as a confirmation that the
Okay.
book was, you know, acceptable to my teacher.
That's good.
So the last one
this is book 5.
This is book 5, and it is Lenormand, Fortune Telling
everyone's been waiting
Cards by Debono. So I finally wrote it. This took
big
me
one.
This took me 2 years to write.
Big one, yeah.
It's a big book. It's actually probably double all my other books. So there's 2 of the other ones, and this one's quite big. So it is a big book. Obviously, Lenormand is historical. It has a big history, a big background.
So it's quite an achievement to write a book about Lenormand, but how does your book, these points and tips, how do they differ from the norm or the tradition?
Well, my way of reading Lenormand is based on tradition. That's first of all, you know, Lenormand is a traditional system, so you have to keep the tradition. But what I found with reading Lenormand for real people is some of the things that we taught in tradition didn't quite work.
Okay.
Like such as some of the combinations of cards. It just didn't translate to a client.
To a modern day sort of setting.
Modern day, and just some of the combinations didn't quite work. So over the years, I started to develop my own slight variations on things. I mean, I keep it traditional, but I also tweaked it a little bit, and especially the Grand Tableau. Like I learned Grand Tableau from reading mainly stuff on Facebook, right? Other readers, and I never quite. At first, I didn't quite gel with the Grand Tableau, especially for reading for a client. Reading for my friend or someone I knew was fine, but reading for a client, that was a challenge. So I came up with my own way of specifically reading the Grand Tableau, which is based on tradition, but I streamlined it a lot.
And is that why you got kicked out of these Facebook groups? I'm interested to understand what was so, what were
controversial.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I think when I first joined Lenormand groups on Facebook, I think this was way back. This was like year 2012.
Okay.
There was a real flowering of Lenormand.
Yeah.
And I think that people were very staunch. Okay. Lenormand started off people online were very staunch. You had to read it a certain way, and it had to be this way. And what used to happen was I would read it the way they were demanding I read it online, and then I would have a real client, and it wouldn't fit, right? Yeah. So there I was on Facebook, being told how to read Lenormand, and then I'd use it with a real client, and the client would be like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So I found it was like jarring. It was like there was people online were demanding it's read this way, or you have to read left to right and right, whatever. And it's like, but when I'm with a real client, that wasn't working.
Well, that's where the magic comes, isn't it? That's what makes you, someone who can actually read the cards well, is, sort of interpreting.
Yeah, interpretation is the main thing, isn't it?
I found that with tarot. Even within your group, there's people that'll say, "Oh, it means this and this." It's like, yeah, well, maybe. Sometimes it can, and other times depends.
That's right, and I think in the early stages of Lenormand online, people like saying you're intuitive was a dirty word.
Oh, right.
They just didn't. They just said that Lenormand was not an intuitive system, which I found fascinating because that was the first fortune-telling device system I'd ever come across where people were saying it wasn't intuitive, right?
You've got to be rigid with it to get the response.
Yeah, And I'd never seen a divination system like that ever before. Like even astrology, you still have to, use your intuition, and even though it's a very strict system as well, even tarot, but you have to use your intuition. And then I was being told in Lenormand, oh, you can't use intuition. It's not intuitive. It's verbal. It's not intuitive. And I was like, okay. And then when I would have a client, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Because it was too robotic. Like I can give you an example. One time I had this woman, she, and I write about this in the book actually. She said to me, she wanted to know about her mother and her mother's neighbor.
Okay.
And I said, okay, pull out some cards. And she pulled out the dog and the bear. Mm-hmm. So traditionally, the dog is friendly, protective. The bear can be mothering, could be a bit smothering, could be a bit overprotective, right? And I said to her, oh, your mother and her neighbor are friends. They're very, very protective of each other. Maybe one's a little bit overbearing, but the dog is showing that there's a strong friendship. And this woman said, no.
No, they're fighting like cats and dogs.
Well, that's what happened. And then I couldn't understand it because I was looking my pairings of what they mean. It wasn't. Right. And then she said they actually had a fist fight.
Oh, right.
So her mother and her mother's neighbor had a fist fight in the street. Outside of their house, right? So that would have been a sight to see.
Critical piece of information to know.
Yeah, and then I looked at the cards and I thought, well, of course, a bear and a dog would fight.
Yeah.
So I thought, see, Lenormand was teaching me how to read it still. It was like, you can't just stick to the card meanings out of the book. You've got to use your intuition and your symbolism. Because after she said her mother and her neighbor got into a fight, I looked at the cards and I thought, well, of course, because those two animals would fight.
Yeah.
Whereas, so see that typically wouldn't be considered reading Lenormand.
Yeah, that's...
because that wouldn't be in any meaning sheet. That would, it would be overbearing friend or dominant friend, or one person's friendly and the other one's more wild, say. But it was like a dog and a fox are natural enemies. So.
A dog and a bear, wasn't it?
A dog and a bear, sorry.
Dog and a bear, yeah.
Yeah, dog and a bear are natural enemies.
Same as the fox and the snake, right?
Fox and the snake. Well, that was another one that I found. Fox and snake, when I see that combination together, usually it means a legal battle.
Oh, okay.
Because both animals are trying to, win the prize, and they're going to use different methods to get what they want. So they're both sneaky. A snake's sneaky, and so is a fox. So after many years of reading Lenormand, I found out, what was happening was I was getting people that were having legal battles, and they kept getting fox and snake, fox and snake, fox and snake. And I kept thinking, why am I getting this all the time? And then after a while, I started to look at people's readings, and when I saw fox and snake together, I would say, are you having a legal issue? And they'd say, yes. So I started to notice that fox and snake, when it came together, for me, it means legal a legal battle. Now, that was not something I could read in any meaning sheet that I ever saw.
Okay.
That was just the cards teaching me how to read them over many, many years.
And that is in the book?
That's also in the book, yeah.
And that's not a traditional reading of...
That's not a traditional... And there's other examples of things that I discovered over years of reading the cards and how they, how they are read above and beyond the traditional meanings. So the traditional meanings are still in there. I've even got them in the back, the meanings. But I also add things that I've learned along the way. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's been a very long journey about Lenormand, and it's a great system.